First and foremost, I'd like to express my gratitude to the Japanese English-speaking YouTubers who always assist me in my English studies, as well as to the various applications and tools. From now on, I will discuss my Q&A about my English entirely in English. I want to clarify from the beginning that I've prepared all my English responses in advance with ChatGPT's help. The reason I made this video is to create an opportunity to share my thoughts and what I've learned, and also to record my current pronunciation. The decision to make this video was sparked by a comment from Philip, who I always exchange messages online. One day, he said he wanted to see my room, so I thought, why not make a room tour video in English and send it to him? It seemed like a great way to learn the names of things in my room and to express my thoughts. Then, a thought struck me. Wait a minute! Before diving into a room tour, wouldn't it be an incredibly effective study method to create a video discussing my English and hobbies? Topics I've meticulously gathered and explained in English? Motivated by this idea, I decided to kick things off with a video focusing on my journey with English. Going forward, I plan to create more videos, including Q&As about my hobbies and acupuncture, as well as room tour videos. Here's how this Q&A was developed. First, I had ChatGPT come up with questions about my English. Then, I wrote my responses in Japanese. After that, I had ChatGPT translate those accurately into English, and I'll be speaking from those scripts. However, I did look up and study any words or grammatical structure in the scripts that were unfamiliar to me, using ChatGPT of course. So please keep in mind that what I'm saying isn't being thought up on the spot but has been prepared in advance. Let's get started! 1. What kind of books do you enjoy reading? Right now, I mostly enjoy self-improvement books. 2. How often do you get to go on solo trips? I'd say about 3 to 4 times a year. In recent years, I make sure to go on solo trips during Golden Week, Obon, and year-end holidays. Those times offer me several days off, which is perfect for traveling alone. 3. What's your favorite spot for a walk? My favorite spot for a walk is anywhere surrounded by nature, especially places where you can see rivers and trees. Being in such an environment makes me want to take a walk. 4. Do you prefer walking in the city or in nature? I love both, but if I had to choose, I'd prefer walking in nature. 5. What got you interested in working out? I have several reasons, but the main one is that I want to look cool. Having a great physique boosts my self-esteem every time I see myself in the mirror, and it gives me confidence. I also think that in a professional setting, someone with a muscular physique is more trustworthy than someone extremely skinny. And of course, it doesn't hurt in attracting the opposite sex. 6. How do you find new trails or places to walk? I've never actively sought out such places. It's more like I stumble upon promising spots during my daily commute or when I make stops somewhere. And that's when I decided to take a walk. 7. Have you found any good reading spots on your walks? Not yet, but I'm sure there are great spots out there. I enjoy walking in nature, and I believe reading in a natural setting is a perfect match. 8. Do you have a regular routine for your workouts? No, I don't. It's a bit complicated. I'm aiming for a routine where I train different muscle groups every day, but I don't have a set schedule for which muscles to work on specific days, and there are days I don't manage to stick to it. Right now, I'm working on my chest, biceps, triceps, shoulders, and lower body. 9. What's the most interesting thing you've seen on your walks? I haven't come across something extremely interesting yet. However, I was really impressed when I saw people volunteering to weed and clean up the paths I walk on during my walks. 10. Do you enjoy listening to music or podcasts during your walks or workouts? I don't usually listen to music while walking, but I always have my earphones on during workouts. It really pumps me up and makes the exercise more manageable. Music has this incredible motivating power, you know? When I'm out for a walk, I prefer to soak in the sounds of nature and often find myself voicing my thoughts quietly. It helps me organize my ideas and often sparks new ones for both work and personal life. 11. How do you balance your hobbies with your work life? I try to divide my week into days for hobbies and days for work. For instance, Sundays are strictly my off-work days, so I spend them investing in the future by studying English, reading, or relaxing at a cafe. On weekdays, I always study English in the morning, and after work, I usually do some exercise. 12. What's the longest trip you've ever taken by yourself? The longest trip I've ever taken by myself was a 5-night, 6-day journey to Fukuoka at the end of the last year and the beginning of this year. The trip was not only the longest road trip I've ever had, but also the best one. Of course, I've had other good road trips, but Fukuoka was truly exceptional. What made it so great was everything. The people in Fukuoka were kind and warm. There was abundance of delicious food and plenty of cafes and natural spots to relax in. 13. Have you read any good books lately? Yes, I've read a book titled A Way of Living Less. It's about reducing unnecessary things and leading a happier life. It teaches that many people are unable to focus on what truly matters in life because they own too many things, which leads to wasteful spending of time and money. Although I was already familiar with minimalism and had been practicing it, this book reaffirmed the importance of reducing possessions. 14. What do you enjoy the most about visiting public baths? At public baths, I find the most enjoyment in the unique routine of heating up in a hot sauna, cooling down in a cold bath, and then unwinding in the outdoor air. This cycle of activities brings me a deep sense of balance and serenity, enhancing both my mental clarity and creativity through the beneficial interaction of my nervous systems. 15. Are there any particular authors or genres you gravitate towards in books? I'm particularly drawn to self-help books. While I don't specifically focus on authors, I prefer books written by international writers. The reason is that their perspectives, rooted in different cultures and values, often lead to fresh insights. I do read books by Japanese authors as well, but they tend to reflect a more localized viewpoint, which sometimes limits the scope for new discoveries. However, I still find a lot of learning in Japanese authors' works. 16. Do you prefer indoor or outdoor activities? I like both, but recently, I've been more into indoor activities like working out, reading, visiting public baths, and studying English. For outdoor activities, I enjoy walking, cycling, and solo trips. I used to go camping a couple of times a year, but now I allocate that time and money to solo travels. I've had my fill of the joys of camping and plan to do it again in the future. But for now, I'm more interested in exploring and experiencing new things through solo travels. 17. What's the best place for a solo traveler to visit in your opinion? I'm still on the lookout for the best place to visit. While I'm not sure if they're perfect for solo travel, I personally love Shizuoka and Fukuoka. Neither of them feel too urban, and both have beautiful nature nearby, a relaxed atmosphere and lots of delicious food. I visited Shizuoka about 5 or 6 times, and I'm planning to go back to Fukuoka again next Obon holiday. Plus, I'm planning a trip to Hokkaido at the end of the year. I've heard the winter seafood in Hokkaido is amazing, so I'm really looking forward to it. 18. How do you stay motivated to maintain your hobbies? I don't really need extra motivation because all my hobbies are centered around relaxation and taking a break from daily life. Though studying English is not entirely a hobby as it also serves my career advancement. The excitement I feel about the future possibilities it opens up for me acts as a motivation to keep going. 19. Is there a hobby you'd like to pick up that you haven't yet tried? Nothing specific comes to mind immediately. When considering fishing, some of my friends really enjoy it, and the idea of just relaxing while waiting for a fish to bite sounds quite pleasant. There's also something appealing about the prospect of cooking and eating a fish I've caught myself. 20. How do you find the time for your hobbies with a busy schedule? I have set rules for when to engage my hobbies. Rule 1. Sundays are for hobbies except for morning activities. Rule 2. Take a 30-minute walk every weekday morning before work. Rule 3. After returning from work, I dedicate time to working out. Rule 4. During longer breaks like the Obon holiday, Golden Week, or the New Year, I go on short trips. Of course, I also make time to hang out with friends within this schedule. 21. Have you ever thought about joining a book club? Not really, but I think it could be fun if I did join one. 22. What's your favorite part about cycling on your clothes bike? It's definitely the exhilarating feeling of slicing through the window. Also, I love that cycling helps me clear my thoughts. My clothes bike is more than just a means of transport to me. 23. Do you go on walks in different weather conditions or do you prefer a sunny day? I definitely prefer sunny days because walking under the sun feels unbeatable. However, I like walking enough to go out with an umbrella even on rainy days. 24. What's the most memorable book you've read during one of your reading sessions? It's hard to choose just one, so let me pick 3. The first one is Don't Live Your 20s Cautiously. This book really hammered in the value and the preciousness of one's 20s, changing my approach to how I use my time and my daily actions. The second is Die with Zero, teaching me about the true value of money and life. Two impactful phrases from the book are creating memories is life's most important work, and who you are is determined by your once-in-a-lifetime experiences. The third book is A Way of Living with Less, which taught me that living simply and reducing possessions leads to a happier life. It challenges the common belief that more possessions equate to more happiness, advocating instead for focusing on what's truly important. 25. Have you discovered any new hobbies recently? Yes, I have. I've recently gotten into interior design. Lately, during my study breaks or when I'm relaxing, I've been researching interior design ideas, lighting, chairs, and other furniture. Exploring and looking at different interiors really helps me relax and puts me in a good mood. During the recent Golden Week holiday, I visited 8 interior shops in Tokyo. I'm currently really into it, and I plan to keep updating my room to make it as cozy and comfortable as possible. 26. Do you have a favorite snack or meal after a workout or a long bike ride? I usually go for a protein drink. It's great because consuming protein right after a workout is said to improve absorption, which helps muscle growth. 27. Have you thought about going back to any hobbies you haven't done recently? I have thought about it. However, I've been prioritizing things lately. I try to do things in order of what seems most valuable to me at the moment. 28. What do you focus on during your workout sessions? That's a great question. I concentrate on short but focused sessions. Instead, I aim to work out almost every day. I used to have longer workout sessions about 3 times a week. However, I realized that wasn't as efficient due to declining concentration. That led me to adopt my current approach. 29. How does taking a walk help you unwind? Well, let me think. Walking really helps me clear my head and relax physically. I often find myself mumbling whatever's on my mind as I stroll, which really helps me sort through my thoughts. Plus, the calm pace of the walk just eases all the tension in my body. 13. Do you follow a specific diet to complement your fitness routine? Yes, I do. I mainly focus on high-protein diet. I drink protein shakes and choose protein-rich options when buying lunch boxes. My goal is to consume about 110 grams of protein daily, double my body weight. 31. How do you decide whether to go by car, bike, or on foot when you go out? I base my choice on the distance to my destination and my schedule for the day. For example, if it's within a 5-minute walk, I'll go on foot. When I'm busy with work on short on time, I might use my bike or car. On a leisurely day, even if it's a bit far, I'll take a bike ride. 32. How does the solitude of solo travel affect you compared to being part of a team sport like baseball? Great question. Solo travel offers me a chance for self-reflection and understanding. In a team, you're often influenced by others, but traveling alone lets me directly process my own thoughts and feelings. It helps me realize what I enjoy and what doesn't sit well with me. 33. Have you ever considered starting a blog to share your hobbies and experiences? Actually, I'm currently running a YouTube channel where I post vlogs. The content features my daily life from Sunday to Monday without showing my face, typically in videos around 10 minutes long. I also post vlogs on my solo travels. I've been doing this for about 2 years, and I have around 160 subscribers. While I certainly have aspirations to monetize the channel, there are 2 main reasons I operate it. The first is as a means to build trust for when I start a business in the future. I believe viewers and customers tend to trust people they have watched over a long period. Therefore, sharing my daily thoughts and actions over an extended period helps build that trust. The second reason is that I see these videos as a video diary to enjoy when I get older. Drawing from my experience interacting with elderly people as an acupuncturist, I often reflect on how to spend my later years. Having seen many people struggle in their twilight years, I believe these videos will help me enjoy my life to the fullest until the end. 34. What's the furthest you've traveled on your cross bike in a single day? I've never measured the distance for a single day, so I'm not sure, but I once did a 200-kilometer round trip over 3 days. So I guess it's around 70 kilometers for a single day. It was during a golden week when I was 21 attending a vocational school. 4 friends and I took a 3-day trip to a neighboring prefecture. My legs were incredibly sore and I got badly sunburned as I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt. But it's one of my most cherished memories. 35. How do you choose your next book to read? There are a few ways I pick my next book. Sometimes I read books recommended by friends, or I might find an interesting one at a bookstore. But lately, I often read books featured on YouTube channels. There are many channels that summarize and explain a book in about 10 minutes. If a book catches my interest in these videos, I usually buy it to learn more. It's convenient because I can listen to these summaries like a radio while doing other things like taking a bath or stretching. 36. Do you have a favorite time of day for your walks? Yes, I do. Definitely in the morning. There's something really pleasant about walking under the morning sun. I usually walking only once a day in the morning, but if I had more time, I'd love to go for walks in the afternoon and evening too. That's how much I love walking. 37. What's the most challenging aspect of maintaining a regular exercise routine? The biggest challenge is definitely securing the time and energy. As a working adult, you're faced with a constant stream of tasks and responsibilities, so it's essential to cut down on unnecessary activities and carve out time for exercise. 38. Have you read anything recently that has inspired you in your personal life? Yes, I have. It wasn't very recent, but about a year ago. I read the book titled Die with Zero. It's quite an extreme title suggesting that it's better to spend money on experiences rather than just saving. The book doesn't condemn saving, but it does offer insight to those who might be overly focused on saving and missing out on the real values of life. After reading it, I started spending more on unique experiences like solo trips, and it really invigorated my life. 39. What's a hobby you've been curious about but haven't yet tried, and why? I'm really interested in fishing. Some of my friends love it. And the idea of just waiting for a fish to bite while relaxing sounds appealing. Plus, cooking and eating a fish you've caught yourself seems like it would taste even better than buying from a store. 40. Have your hobbies influenced your professional life in any way? Absolutely. As an acupuncturist, I converse with my clients during treatment. Having a shared interest in hobbies can really enhance our relationship beyond just the professional aspect. It creates a more enjoyable and engaging environment for both of us. 41. Do you prefer structured hobbies or those that allow for more spontaneity, and why? I enjoy both actually. There's fun in navigating the rules of structured activities and the joy of creating your own fun in more spontaneous ones. Each has its own unique appeal. 42. Have you considered teaching or coaching in any of your preferred hobbies? I've considered it, but it's still uncertain whether I'll do it in the future. However, I'm thinking of establishing a community where I could teach English as a job, which is somewhat different from my usual hobbies. 43. What kind of places do you like to explore on your solo trips? I love exploring places and towns I've never visited before, especially their unique cuisines and natural spots. There are still so many places I want to visit both abroad and within Japan. 44. Have you visited any onsen or public baths during your travels that stood out? Yes, a hot spring and sauna facility in Gifu on my way to the Hokuriku region. It's an elegant and comfortable interior, making it an exceptional place. I'll definitely visit it again if I pass by. 45. What's your favorite part of the solo travel experience? There are many, but the best part is discovering something I never knew before. Moments like finding out about unique foods or places in a town really broaden my horizons. 46. Do you ever miss playing baseball or volleyball? Definitely. Watching them on TV really makes me want to play. But as I've gotten older, it's become harder to gather people and find the time. So if I do play, it's usually just having a catch with friends at the park. 47. When you can't go on a solo trip, how do you recreate the feeling of adventure locally? That's a great question. I find the same feeling by exploring new parts of my town or trying out cafes and shops I've never been to before. 48. How has your fitness routine evolved over time? I used to hit the gym for weight training, but now I work out at home. It's all about efficiency for me. Gym workouts offer more intensity with equipment, but that comes with travel and wait times. Home workouts, though less intense, save time, allowing me to exercise daily. 49. What's the longest walk you've taken recently? Probably about an hour. That's the longest I've ever walked too. I'm curious to find out how far I can go. 50. Are there any books that have influenced your approach to your hobbies? Not exactly a book, but a motorcycle magazine I picked up at the bookstore inspired me to get my license. I've only ridden once after getting it, and that was just for a minute when a former colleague let me try his bike before selling it. Riding during training was a blast, but considering their costs and risks, I've chosen not to ride. Who knows, maybe I might feel like riding again someday, but... 51. What's the best piece of advice you've received about pursuing hobbies? I can't think of any specific advice. To me, hobbies are something you naturally feel compelled to pursue. 52. How have your hobbies impacted your perspective on life? They've taught me that everyone has their own values and joys. I realized this when I met people who were indifferent to my favorite hobbies and others who found their greatest joy in hobbies I'm not interested in. So, one key to a happy life might be finding what you truly love as early as possible. 53. What do you think draws you to hobbies that involve physical activity? I think it's because they help me refresh quickly. Besides refreshing with something like weight training, I also aim to achieve a fit body. 54. What lessons have you learned from the hobbies that you've had to put aside? The key lesson is that there are things in life that if pursued earlier can bring greater long-term benefits. While I cherish camping, guitar, volleyball, and baseball, I'm not actively engaged in them now. I understand the happiness and worth they offer, but prioritizing activities that are more beneficial in the long run has become important for me. Therefore, I'm conscious about how I utilize my time, money, and energy focusing on what brings the most value right now. 55. How do your hobbies contribute to your mental and physical well-being? They keep me true to myself. Of course, I find my job fulfilling and enjoyable, but focusing only on work sometimes makes me feel like I'm losing myself. Engaging in my hobbies regularly helps me maintain my sense of self. 56. Have you ever tried combining your hobbies, such as playing guitar at the campsite? No, I haven't, but I actually started learning guitar with the dream of playing at the campsite. The thought of strumming away in the great outdoors thrilled me. However, at this point in my life, there are things with a higher priority than camping and guitar, so I haven't done it yet. But it's definitely on my list of things to do someday. 57. What kind of impact has taking up new hobbies had on your social interactions? It's opened up more conversations with different people and piqued my interest in their hobbies. I love asking why they started a particular hobby and what they enjoy about it. When I hear unexpected answers, it reminds me how diverse and fascinating people's thoughts, happiness, and values are. 58. Do you have any specific goals in mind when you engage in your hobbies like travel or fitness? Absolutely. My goal with travel is to learn about the places I visit, local foods, sports, and the people who live there, broadening my horizons. For fitness, it's to achieve a great physique. Looking good in clothes, gaining trust at work, and increasing my appeal are all part of the goal. 59. Have you made any interesting acquaintances on your solo trips? I haven't yet, but it's something I'd like to experience someday. 60. How has not having many hobbies during your student days influenced your current hobby choices? It taught me the importance of trying everything at least once. Imagining or thinking about something is different from actually doing it. For example, I thought kickboxing would be fun, but it wasn't for me. Camping and bonfires, on the other hand, I didn't expect to enjoy so much but ended up loving them. But I haven't done it recently though. 61. Do you have any recommendations for someone looking to start a new hobby? I have many, but solo traveling is my top recommendation. Traveling with friends or a partner is great, but there's a unique charm in solo adventures. It's an excellent way to gain deeper self-awareness. 62. What does a day dedicated to your hobbies look like for you? It's a refreshing break that helps me achieve my life's biggest goals. Also, it's like taking a pleasant detour in life. I believe it's essential to regularly relax and unwind. 63. Have you ever thought about writing about your solo travel experiences? I haven't written about them, but I do share my experiences through vlogs on YouTube. 64. Have you experienced any profound moments of clarity or insight during your solo travels or while reading? Absolutely. Each journey and every book provide new insights into the essence of life and what really matters. I adore those moments of enlightenment, which is precisely what I can't give up traveling and reading. 65. Do you plan your trips and hobbies in advance, or do you prefer spontaneous adventures? I always plan my trips in advance. The reason stems from a bitter experience when I traveled without a plan and found that all the places I visited were closed. Since then, I always make sure to check the opening days and hours of the places I plan to visit. Whenever possible, I even make reservations. A lot of my life lessons have come from making mistakes. Therefore, if I do make a mistake in the future, I know there will be something to learn from it, and I can accept that. Of course, I'd prefer not to make mistakes if I can avoid them. 66. Do you have any advice for someone considering starting a new hobby? Yes, I do. My advice would be to just go for it and start something new. If you feel it's not right for you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with stopping. Then, give something else a try. By experimenting with various activities, I'm sure you'll eventually find a hobby that's the perfect fit for you. 67. What has been your biggest takeaway from building a life with more hobbies? It's that having more hobbies can broaden your life and your choices. While mastering one thing is great, I find the people who know 3 or 4 things or even more are also very attractive and interesting. 68. How do you motivate yourself to continue hobbies that require more effort like cycling? For cycling, it's more about relaxation, so I don't need much effort to continue. For more demanding activities like working out or learning English, I motivate myself by visualizing the goals I want to achieve and the future self I aspire to be. This vision keeps me going. 69. Have you had any memorable interactions at public bus that have stayed with you? Yes, I have. A memorable one is meeting Philip, a German traveler at a public bus. Since then, we've been in touch almost daily. exchanging thoughts about our cultures and daily lives. This encounter made me realize how unpredictable life is. Ironically, I only went to the bus because my usual one raised its prices. It taught me that what seems negative at first can lead to positive opportunities. I've had experiences like this several times in my life. So now, I view every negative event as a potential precursor to something good.